Right. The first one, Jim Harbaugh said after the game that Cap just didn't see the guy was playing underneath Michael Crabtree.
And then he made the same throw later on the throw.
And he made a better throw. So
he made a better throw. He adjusted for it, but he still shouldn't have thrown that second ball.
I mean, he made it.
Yeah, he made it.
It was a good pass.
It was a great pickup. It was perfectly timed.
Here's how I feel about the final play of the game. I think that I tend to agree with Sammy more that, look, if he makes that throw maybe an inch or two more to the outside, it could very likely be a touchdown. I mean, that's but on the other hand, you're right, Brandon. You haven't gone after Richard Sherman all game. The one time you did, he got called for a bogus holding call. And then
according to Richard Sherman, it was bogus holding.
I think it wasn't a very good holding.
He had him, and he didn't allow him to turn around. I don't think it was a holding. But anyways, aside from that, but if you look at they've come out with some of these angles where they show all 22 players. It's called all 22 look. The other side of the field, there was he had some openings during that final drive. But on the other hand, I was listening to Greg Cosell, who does a lot with NFL films. He's a really big X's and O's guy. He said that, that was the right read for Colin. I mean, he saw he had one-on-one to the outside. Crabtree's a great receiver. Kaepernick should have made the throw where it's only Crabtree or nobody else. But unfortunately, the pass just wasn't good enough. And again, it was a great play by Richard Sherman. Good. I mean, it wasn't a coincidence that he tipped it to the inside to where the Seahawks can make an interception. I mean, he purposely does that where he tips it to keep the ball alive, to tips it towards another player, another teammate for them to get an interception. So it was a great play. Great play. That was the last play of the game. It's going to be the one that sticks out, and it's going to be the one that is going to burn in your guys' head the entire offseason.
Same as last year, yeah.
Yeah, I just, it's... But Colin Kaepernick, exactly, and it's... Did he need to make that throw on first down, though? Do you need to attack Richard Sherman on first down?
And he had other open receivers on the play, so it wasn't like a good read, probably. Obviously, in retrospect, but it wasn't.
It was one-on-one coverage.
It was one-on-one coverage.
But it was Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman.
That's not one-on-one.
But he went for it at the end of the game. It wasn't like it wasn't a terrible throw or terrible read like his other interception or is just being unaware like his other turnover. But what I took out of it was the last drive of the game, coming off of the fumble, and the Niners get that lucky break where Marshawn Lynch fumbled again to give them back the ball. Kaepernick stayed in it, even though he'd kind of fallen off after having the great first half, and he drove him down the field. One bad throw, but Kaepernick played, I thought, really, really well yesterday, and he definitely outplayed Russell Wilson.
Right, I think really well. I think relatively speaking for me, I think he played well, but I do think the 3 turnovers at the end kind of cloud over his performance, but that's the whole reason they were in the game, because of Colin Kaepernick, and it was an up and down year for him, and it's kind of that last play was kind of indicative of what his whole problem was throughout the year, was that he gets stuck on that first read, and he'll throw that first read without looking elsewhere, and it came back to bite him. But again, maybe if he makes that much better of a throw, it has a chance to be a touchdown. So, but then the other thing is that, look, the Niners, it wasn't just those 3 turnovers. Defense played great after those turnovers to hold Seattle to just 3 points there. And the Seahawks had a 3rd and 22 when they were driving to get the game winning, when they get what eventually be the difference in the game, a touchdown. The Seahawks had a 3rd and 22, and they ended up picking up 15 yards, set up a 4th down and 7, and the 4th and 7 was the touchdown pass that put them up 20-17. So, look, if you can't you got to stop the Seahawks on 3rd and 22. I mean, you just can't let them. It looked like everybody for the Niners was playing, 20 yards down the field on that play.
Pete Carroll coached one of the best games I've seen, and I don't know why I'm going back to Pete Carroll. How much they did, but he just stuck to his game plan, and even when Russell Wilson wasn't firing at all cylinders, they found a way to win that game, and they did it with the offense.
Yeah,
which is and
Marshawn Lynch had a great second half.
Right.
He was a monster in the second half.
Mode. He went. That was the definition of beast mode, and it was just business as usual for them.
Yeah, it was. But look, the Niners had a chance to win, same as last year. They had a chance to win it at the end of the game, but
They weren't able to do so, and now they head into the offseason with their third straight year they've lost either in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. So.
That's true, but also I think this was the most memorable game. It'll probably be more memorable than the Super Bowl. I'm guessing by far a better game than the AFC Championship game, which
hopefully better than the last time the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
So there's something to take from that. I don't know what it is.
That makes me feel better, Sammy. Thank you.
Right.
But I would say I'd still think, for me, if I were to rank the losses in terms of devastation as a Niner fan, I would still put the NFC Championship game from 2011 at the front, because that was just, first of all, we had Alex Smith at quarterback, so I thought this probably is going to be our last chance to make it to this. I thought this.
They really gave that one away.
They really gave it one.
So
Kyle Williams, face the fact if Kyle Williams doesn't fumble, then they probably win the game. And the defense just shut down Eli Manning. That was probably our best defense of the last 3 years. So that's still number one for me in terms of just how awful I felt after the game. Second would be the Super Bowl, and third would be this one. The reason that those two are second was because I still feel like this is a team that's we're gonna get there eventually. And maybe I'm just being naive with that, but
I think this one hurts you more.
I'm just judging by how I emotionally reacted to it.
Well, I think you're going to. I think 6 months down the road, this one's going to sting a lot
because
more.
It was the third straight time, and they definitely had a chance to win. I thought in the first half they completely outplayed them, and I thought they should have been ahead by much more than
this
10.
team. That defense will never be the